Hello, Wilhelm. It's a pleasure to have you in this interview. And I'm in Brussels, you're in Berlin, right? In the
Correct.
middle of Germany, capital of Germany. And you guys have a very exciting story. And that's why I was so happy that you are also willing to participate to the RegTechBlackbook, the second edition. Because I think what you guys did by being the first cryptocurrency or crypto custodian in Germany, being applied by BaFin or accepted by BaFin, man, this is a story. So I hope that within the interview you can enlighten us a little bit about your experience. How did it go?
Yes, excellent. First and foremost, Kun, thank you very much for having me, and also really excited to be a part of the second edition of the RegTechBlackbook. Really excited about that, and yeah, great story indeed. Exciting, being amongst one of the first custodians to apply for having been afforded the preliminary license for crypto custody in one of the first basically jurisdictions to internationally opt to regulate it. It is indeed very exciting. Yeah.
And how was that journey for you? Have you ever done that before as like going through this regulation process as maybe a bank or a different other financial institution?
So personally, from my background, yes, I used to do regulatory space in a law firm called Hogan Lovells, where the scope was quite large, international, but of course very traditional and, let's say, rather humdrum in the sense of regulation, kind of that which has already been estimated, that which is already being done by the book, as it were. So quite frankly, this is absolutely something at the forefront, groundbreaking in the sense of crypto and regulation coming together, which in itself is already an inherent, or at least perceived as an inherent contradiction. This is definitely not something I've done before. It's definitely not something anyone else has really done before. We're heralding the age of crypto meets regulation and offering it on the market as a regulated product as well.
It's funny that especially you say like that it's a strange link between crypto and regulation. Why would you say that?
Yeah, for many reasons. I think actually besides the initial one, that would be, I'd say, more of a reference to cryptocurrency is just probably risky kind of investment. No one knows what's happening there. That's rather not what my intention is, and actually just steering to the other side, which is regulation up until today has been catering for fiat currencies, for centralized banks and a centralized concept. So what we're looking at in cryptocurrency, of course, is a peer-to-peer network in a decentralized format, which, in other terms, actually would require a different set of regulations and a different, let's say, handbook. So that's kind of more of what I'm referring to in the inherent contradiction. It's quite interesting how, varying schools of thought are out there in terms of what it should be and what it should not be. But, being in the thick of it, as it were, you get to see what's actually going to pan out and how those two factors, regulation, the concept of the state, and the legislator or the financial regulator comes together with something that is innovative and also offering access to everyone on a peer-to-peer basis. So that's kind of where I'm leaning towards that.
Yeah, no, that's the exciting part as well. And at the end of the day, I believe that if you could see cryptos also as an asset class, and so it won't make you so different from what is a current custodian. There are plenty of traditional custodians, global custodians, local custodians. How would you see that moving? Is that a direction that the traditionals will follow what you're doing, or will you move towards the traditional ones? What would be the journey going forward there in your opinion?
I definitely think that it's a good question, and I think one of the contested subjects as well is which way the kind of tug of war into which way is going to lean to the one or to the other. Frankly, of course, this might be more of a biased opinion, just being on the side of the crypto. I think regulation and traditional sets of norms and basically defined terms definitely ought to turn more to the crypto and the tech side, rather than the tech side moving over to the predefined regulatory bodies and works that already exist. Reason for saying so is, just kind of bringing back to the theme of this is a new concept. This is something that is defined in, it's basically in its creation, which is we'll look back at Bitcoin and I think 2008 with the first white paper from, released for Bitcoin. Or something like this as well. Yeah. And, this is kind of the age where we need to think about how we're going to regulate and how do we modulate ourselves to be, fulfilling or just also proliferating this asset class. As you mentioned, it is an asset class and it is basically a digital value that, we want to promote on an equal basis for an inclusive society, but also at the same time, all these quote unquote buzzwords in terms of an innovative one. So what that means is, I think we've redefined the methodologies of what we're doing. If you're looking at old age, or let's say rather technologies of old, where we have designed cars with petroleum and that's how they're working. Now we're looking at cars with electric, modalities and systems. How are we going to use that? How do they get charged? How do they work on the roads? It's that adaptive theory again. It's kind of a theorem in, evolutionary side of things that the regulatory body will have to adapt to the technological side. And I believe that's kind of at the core of it all right now, which is an exciting age because that opportunity is there. And the question is quite centrally, what are we doing with that now? And that's something that goes out to the regulators. Do we do this together, or is it one of, do we get an instruction and there's a directive which doesn't coincide with what the product or the digital value can offer? Or is there something that, there's a middle way and a middle path where there's something, much greater than just ourselves at the forefront here? And I think that's why the traditional modes need to follow the technological ones, most certainly.
So I presume that for you, the whole idea around central bank digital currencies, this is something you probably follow closely too.
Yeah, that's all of these factors are things that come and pop up from this contested subject at large. Like I said, an inherent kind of contradiction, because those two aspects, centralized versus decentralized, it's a peer-to-peer network as opposed to something that's going to be leeching off of a server, which is kind of the concept of the current banking system as well. It's a centralized. It's a centralized concept. So I need, just exactly as I need to go into the internet and I'm leeching off a server to get my information. This is the same concept that we've been doing, and this is the way that we've been regulating ourselves up until now. Henceforth, also new methods and new structures are basically concepts will have to be designed to cater for the fact that we're peer-to-peer, decentralized, and somehow move away from centralized, basically world and constructs to get to a side where both sides actually work with one another. So, it's a bit of like I've mentioned, a tug of war, and it's kind of interesting seeing how that's playing out. At the moment right now, there's a lot more than just the digital ascension of it all and the digital value that it offers. But yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see as it unfolds.
Oh no, I agree, and especially in the custody business, there are a lot of inherent inefficiencies that come with the current thinking. So to that extent, I would not have found it a strange answer if you would have said traditional can use technology, because it could go either way. Now, and I think there you also mentioned it, Wilhelm, is that it is the regulator that has a very important play in this, and I think it's that conversation that you need to have. And that comes also back in the book quite often with also the articles of the other authors, is that it takes three to tango. It's that conversation that you need to have. Particularly interesting, sometimes it has been referred to as is distributed trust that we need. It's the fact that we're in a more modern society that cannot just rely on decentralized responsibilities. And then it goes far beyond what is the actual technology, but then it really comes to the way of thinking. And that's something that I see more and more lately.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, mentioned some of these aspects in the piece that I submitted as well. And it's, you know, a lot of the acceptance is, you know, there's an entire surgence of that. Why this is important as well is you see that people are getting educated. The general society is getting more, let's say, savvy with what's going on. You know, it's no longer just, oh, there was Bitcoin back in 2017, you know, pumping, and then, oh, that was a great opportunity to make some money. And you slowly start seeing the, let's say, assimilation or the basically the connection between Bitcoin or cryptocurrency at large just being a nominal value displacement for, or basically an information mechanism for your fiat currency in a digital sense. And it's now becoming something that's forming its own kind of identity, in the sense that it's not only just the crypto or the cryptocurrency as a currency, but it's also something that, you know, we have a whole myriad basically of different applicabilities, which is, you know, streaming, the peer-to-peer network. It's bigger than the internet, or, you know, it could be. And, you know, we could offer so many things from this single technology, and it's incredible how, you know, it could redesign the way that we do governance, even just in a political sense as well. And I mean, not to at all in any way get into a political side particularly, but it is not just one-sided, let's say, subject. As I said, that has and offers this entire myriad of different applications that can improve our life and improve basically the entire global parameter, or basically the regulation thereof. And that's something where, you know, it's not just because we're a custodian and we're offering these digital assets and believe in this, you know, innovation, and offering this innovation to, you know, anyone that wants to engage in it and proliferate it, but also what it stands for, that it's a big thing. It's a belief for us all. And yeah, that's I think where a lot of the passion for most of us, definitely for those of us at Finoa, that's where this comes from, because this is what we embody and this is what we live. So yeah, that's definitely astute. Yeah.
You stole the words out of my mouth when you actually meant passion, because that's something that I feel with you. That's nice. I'm also passionate, so it's nice to talk to other passionate people. But why should people then contact you guys, Finoa? What is it all about? What makes you so special then?
Yeah, I think first of all, what we offer at Finoa is, you know, the digital asset value, and that we believe in this society that is, you know, promoting an equal and inclusive one. You know, and that it's basically, we are at the forefront of starting this, you know, let's say the hurdle of getting over, you know, the regulatory bumps in the road, and getting to design and work with the regulators together to bring this to fruition and bring this to, you know, something that we can say, we know this is law abiding, we're regulated, we're offering this product to you, and it's law abiding, and also we are constantly regulated. So each year we have, you know, all sorts of directives and objectives to you know, maintain. It's by no means, or by no words or description of it, an easy feat or something easy to achieve, especially if you're struggling with, you know, coming from an older designed regulation system to bring that to a newer one. I feel that you know, brings this pivoting aspect, that we are pioneering this way forward, and that we live this trust. And that's how we kind of engage with our clients, is that we're one of them, the state of the art. We offer the most secure custodial services at, you know, basically in one of the most, let's say, current aspects, which is a warm storage. And, you know, that's something that you have instant access. Not only is it that, we're constantly looking at the expansion, and we're, you know, also enabling staking platforms. We're enabling that people can get into there, not just have one singular mode of just custodial services, but also look at other options, you know. So it's really one of those aspects where I think you have one of those humble beginnings where it just starts to expand to something we've believed in. We've, you know, as you've mentioned, this passion, this invigoration for it, and just living that trust and then getting it out for an inclusive society is one of the most, I think, pivotal things and most imperative things at Finoa.
Yeah, sounds good. And well, before we started the interview officially, you told me that you also have been growing tremendously in employees, which is a great thing too. I mean, it shows that it's not just your first honeymoon weeks as a startup.
Yeah.
You're really growing up, you're scaling, and you really getting some substance. So yeah, congratulations, well done.
Thank you.
Good. I think that we're all already at the end of the conversation again. Time flies when you're having fun, especially when you have fun with passionate people. So Wilhelm, I would like to thank you so much, your company, for contributing to the book, being here today in this interview. It's, as I said, it's nice to share some passion. So I hope the audience finds the same, and feel free as an audience. Thank you very much for listening, by the way, but feel free to like, to share, to comment, or even look at the other videos that we have, because we have a whole series of these kind of interviews where we talk to all the authors and beyond. So please follow us. And on that note, thank you very much for tuning in today.
Thank you very much. Good. Appreciate it.